Good morning, everyone. Minutia Minute here. As you can probably hear, my voice is not 100% there. I have been sick for about 4 or 5 days. Was pretty sick yesterday, actually. Now I feel much better, but my voice, as you can tell, is not holding up. The good news is I don't have COVID, so I just have a lingering cough from kind of a bad cold that I had. So I did run to the source today. I masked up and grabbed my Batman books. Then I do want a quick talk about what happened this week in Batman with you guys. It'll definitely be a little bit more abbreviated video, but I still want to get it to you. So thanks for tuning in. Let's see what's going on with the Cape Crusader this week. Alright, time to see if we can repair this voice. Got my Batman mug. Batman throughout the years. 2010s, all the way back to the 1940s. Kate got me this for Christmas one year, I believe, if I remember right. Okay. Hey, I got some voice. Question is, will it last long enough? So, what came out this week in Batman? Well, before we get into it, just a little bit of housekeeping. I know I said I was going to review the last week's issue of Detective Comics for you this week. I have not been able to get to the shop to pick it up because it's kind of far away, the shop I have to get it from. And since I've been sick, today's really the first day I've been comfortable, like being out and about, kind of more like normal. So I'll have that for you sometime before or the week of this month's Detective Comics. Rest assured, I'm going to read it. I will talk to you guys about it when it gets there. There were 4 new books that came out this week for Batman. I did not pick up Arkham City. I wasn't actually 100% sure what this book was, to be honest with you. And if you can tell me down in the comments and let me know. Because if you look at the cover, it looks like it's tied to like Grant Morrison's Arkham Asylum. And there's a new edition of Arkham Asylum coming out. But obviously Arkham City is like a video game. I just am not sure what's going on with that book, so I didn't pick it up. I just didn't. But if you want to tell me about it down in the comments, let me know if it's something I should be getting. So that left us with 3 books that I picked up this week. First book was Joker Presents a Puzzle Box, issue number 3. First issue of this in particular was pretty enjoyable. Second one, not quite so much so. We'll see how the third issue goes. This is likely one that's probably going to be best read in trade if you do pick it up. Next up, Batman, The Adventures Continue, Season 2, Issue number 5. One of the longest titles of Batman books coming out right now. I actually just read Issue 4 this morning. I hadn't read it the week that it came out. And got a fair amount of enjoyment about it. Super Montoya heavy. I really like Renee Montoya. Particularly kind of more old school Batman animated series Montoya, so that was really welcome. And I'm excited to give this one a read as well. And then last but not least, Fear State continues with Batman number 114, which promises to be a big throwdown between Peacekeeper X and Peacekeeper 1. This whole Peacekeeper thing is probably the thing I'm least interested in Fear State, so we'll see how this goes. I'm going to read it right now and give you my thoughts for this, which is actually the only in-continuity Batman title out for the week of October. Alright, so what did I think of Batman 114, Part 3 of Fear State? How did this hold up, and did it meet my expectations? Not really. Not really. So, as promised by the cover, the majority of this issue is the big throwdown between Peacekeeper X and Sean, aka Peacekeeper 1. Batman gets mixed up in the fray and is basically trying to preserve the evidence that Simon Saint is really creating all this destruction on Gotham and that Scarecrow has gone out of control and he needs the Peacekeepers in order to prove that, basically. I mean, that's maybe reading more into it than is even actually in this book, but that's pretty much the gist of it. Here's the problem with that. You know, the one guy in a metal suit is fighting another guy in a metal suit. I don't know anything about these characters really. I know that, they spent a fair amount of time setting up Peacekeeper 1. Peacekeeper X is just kind of an out of left field character, showed up at the end of, was it the last issue or was it the issue before? I actually can't remember for sure now. And as a result, I found myself just like waiting for the book to end. I perked up a little bit when Batman showed up, but it was kind of too little too late. And it just doesn't feel like Batman is, the lead character in his own story. Fear State has very much become a whole bunch of B stories going on at the same time. You've got Queen Ivy, you've got the Anti-Oracle, you've got Batman chasing after the Peacekeepers, and you've got Scarecrow with his own agenda. And while Scarecrow's agenda is obviously the main through point of the story, Batman's not even really working on that. He's just like dinking around with these Peacekeepers. And as a result, like, there's a lot of pretty colors, but beyond that, there just wasn't much in this book to really get me excited or thinking. I'm going to spoil the end of this a little bit, which is that Miracle Molly shows up at the end because she has had a realization that Scarecrow has a plan that is somehow going to involve the Unsanity Collective's brain rewiring machine. Which, yeah, I guess you can kind of see where that's headed with issue 115. Might be interesting, but the whole premise of Fear State was he didn't need chemicals. He didn't need help. He could bring Gotham to its knees just by manipulating people on its own. Like, that was the whole kind of compelling idea of what the Scarecrow was up to. So if he's about to blanket the city with, brainwaves or whatever, like, that's not really living up to the premise of what Fear State was supposed to be, I don't think. So yeah, and again, like, what led to that conclusion? Like, how do we figure this whole thing out? Like, literally, Miracle Mall is just sitting there, and she's like, oh, here's what the plot is now. Like, there's no through line, there's no real story going on here, it's just stuff happening. If you like Clownhunter, you do get part 3 of 3 for DIY, which basically is just setting Clownhunter up as another member formally of the Bat family. He gets to work with Red Robin, and the story is going to continue in the pages of Urban Legends and Batman proper. So, that's fine. I already kind of thought of Clownhunter as sort of a member of Batman's team, just unofficially. So this kind of makes it a little bit more official. Probably more interesting than anything that really happened in Fear State Part 3, but also, nothing really that groundbreaking. So overall, Fear State very quickly is becoming a bust for me. It's going to be Tinian's last Batman arc for a while, and I've had a lot of fun with his reads so far, and so it's just disappointing that this just isn't really coming together. But we'll see. There's still a few more issues. As things come to a conclusion, maybe they'll pull it together. We'll just have to. So obviously not a lot for final thoughts this week, since there's only the 3 books and only the one that's in continuity. But I will say, week to week, if you're looking for something good for Batman to read, my recommendation generally is going to go to Batman Adventures Continue. This is a fun read. And Joker Puzzle Box, again, recommend probably for the trade. If you're reading Fear State, what did you think of this book? Is this book coming together for you? Like, am I odd man out here? Am I the only one that thinks that this is just a big nothing burger? Or are you in the same boat as me? Let me know down in the comments below. And I hope you guys have a great week in comics. Thanks for watching.